All right, well, let's now spot another trend that we've been witnessing, the coronavirus pandemic and the kind of changes it has spurred in our day-to-day lifestyle. One of them includes an increase in our usage of wearables. In fact, for all of you guys watching ET now for the last couple of days, you may have noticed Pankaj, myself as well, wearing wearables while anchoring the show. So what's this trend? Is it here to stay? And what's really spurring this increase, particularly during COVID? Has this whole social distancing norm sort of increased its demand? We have with us Jaipal Singh, Associate Research Manager for Client Devices with IDC India. Jaipal, many thanks for joining us today on ET Now. You know, Jaipal, you have two live examples right here on the channel itself. Pankaj and myself both using wireless earphones as we work from home, as we anchor from home. What's the sort of demand you've been witnessing or you've been observing among consumers when it comes to technology? They want it wireless. What do you think has spurred that?
Oh, that's right. I think if you see the last quarter results, this says a lot, especially if I compare to Q3. It was the biggest quarter so far. So Meta shipped close to 18.8 million devices in the last quarter. And if I compare just two devices here, one is AirWare, that's mostly known as Wearables. Wearables has shown close to 4 times growth if you just compare to the same time last year. And if you just compare the previous quarter itself, you need to keep in mind that previous quarter was itself the biggest quarter for AirWare. From there also, it's almost gone double. So that says a lot about earbuds, or more commonly known as hearables, because it gives you that convenience, that comfort that you can manage calls, and especially at the time of pandemic, when people are forced to stay at home, especially the entertainment time and productivity time, that has increased a lot. And managing these kind of calls and entertainment, there's a lot of pressure for some kind of comfort that can give to your ears. And here, especially earbuds gain a much needed advantage over other devices. Another reason that I have seen the trend is quite is just like overall activities that people are doing now. So before pandemic, if I compare watches, especially fitness watches, those were also growing, but we haven't seen this kind of growth, especially for the fitness watches. If I compare 2020 Q3 with the last year, the shipment has grown almost double. And this kind of trend we haven't seen, especially in the last 5 years. And this is largely because, people earlier used to complain a lot about, they hardly have any time. Their routine is so busy. But I think this pandemic has changed the overall thinking around this. They are spending a lot of time at home. And this time they have also engaged a lot more on physical activities. When they are engaged on physical activities, they also forced to, go for devices which can monitor these activities. And hence, that's why we are seeing a strong growth for watches also. But these are the driver from the consumer side. In India, I'm monitoring this category from last 5 years. I haven't seen this kind of change. The major driver has been the affordable devices that has come to market. We have big brands like Apple, Samsung. They were the key driver of smart watches from very long time. But this time, if I compare the affordability of devices, that has come down more than 40%. Smart watches are now starting somewhere around 3,000 rupees. So that gives a lot more opportunity for the people who are, holding their purchases from very long time, or was just thinking it's a novelty factor and they just don't want to buy devices. They were also enticed to buy these kind of devices. And that's why you are seeing the overall wearables category growing in India.
Right. Sir, I wanted to understand one thing that, as you said that people were not ready to change, but now that they have changed to this, once again things get normal, people get used to such wearables, and that will also not change quite easily.
Yeah, definitely this change is going to sustain for a very long time, especially the kind of activities people are doing and the kind of habits they are forming. From a personal example also, I'm quite attached to wearables now, especially my smartwatch. I monitor all my key metrics and quite much engaged. And if I compare them with the rest of the world also, we have seen watches are becoming a key device of lifestyle in USA and China. And I believe this is going to happen in India also. So far, there were limitations, especially around the affordability, because most of the smartwatches were starting somewhere around 15,000 and onwards. So that was a challenge for many consumers who can't afford those devices. Now those concern has addressed. Devices are available on 5,000, and also new features are added. There has been many new features during the pandemic, whether it is your current temperature check or it is your oxygen level check. And I believe this ecosystem will keep growing, as we move forward in this entire game of. That's why I think going forwards, the wearables will become more, inclined and part of our lifestyle.
Thank you so much, sir, for taking out time for us. Always good to get perspective from you. That was a very, very special interaction, talking about how wearables are now becoming fashionable in India. On that note, we're taking a break. Coming back quickly. Stay tuned.